Hey guys, Brandon here with Berserker Off-Road. I'm at this awesome campsite overlooking Horseshoe Lake in Tonto National Forest. Now, when you're on the trail, there's no reason why you can't keep up your fitness same way you do at home. So I've got some simple things I brought from my garage gym so I can get a good arm workout while I'm on the trail before we start doing some awesome things today. So stick around and I'll show you what I do for a quick arm workout on the trail.
I have an assorted set of resistance bands from Elite FTS. I also made an implement out of gas pipe from Home Depot. If I grip the angled pipe on the edges, it mimics an easy curl bar. If I grip narrower, it's like a straight bar. First up is standing preacher curls. The great thing about these bands is I can vary the resistance by how close I am to their attachment point. If I want more resistance, I back up. If I want it easier, I get closer. Now with this movement, it helps to envision you're trying to push your hands behind your head with your elbows flared in front of you. I also vary the width of my grip on the bar depending on how my biceps are feeling and how I'm connecting with the muscle that day.
Now when I'm out here, I'm not doing, heavy weight. I'm not out here to try to set PRs. It's all about having a fun time and being safe. So I'm doing sets of like 15 to 20, maybe 4 or 5 sets for each muscle group with different exercises. If you're doing less than that, the weight's too heavy and you're likely to hurt yourself, and you don't want to do that. You just want to stay safe and have fun. Now, something you can do if you need to make it more challenging, if you don't have a lot of resistance or a lot of heavy weight, is just slow down that contraction. Work on time under tension. When you, like for example, on arms, when you slow down at the top, just do a peak contraction and hold and really focus on squeezing and then release and just slow down that rep, and you'll really make those muscles scream.
A variation of the curl you can do is with the Rotpoax. With the neutral grip, it changes the head of the bicep that you're targeting, and if you lean back, it gives you a mechanical disadvantage, so your biceps have to work harder. Now, since you're likely limited on weight with this, if you squeeze at the top, it'll give you a stronger contraction for the muscle and make this a harder exercise. If you don't have a Rotpoax, get creative. Grab a rock or your tool recovery gear, your food container. You're looking for something that weighs between 30 to 50 pounds or something you can curl 15 to 20 times consecutively. To vary the intensity, change how far you lean back and how hard you squeeze at the top and the bottom. Next are dumbbell curls with the Rotpoax. Now, for stability, because this is such an awkward sized weight, take your fist and shove it against your lat just under your armpit and rest your tricep against that. That'll stabilize your arm so you can focus on pulling with your bicep. The movement mimics dumbbell curls on an incline bench. Now with these exercises, make sure you're giving it a serious effort. You're contracting your muscles hard and giving yourself an honest workout. You're only cheating yourself if you don't.
It's getting too heavy. There we go. Now, if you want bigger arms, don't just train your bicep. Your tricep is 2/3 of your mass, so focus on your tricep to develop not only that depth, but then the width on the back of the arm, and that'll really fill in your arms. For years, I focused on my biceps thinking that was the primary muscle in the arm to develop that size. But once I learned that trick, my arms really started to grow. So focus on developing those 3 heads of the tricep. Experiment with different angles and different presses and pushes, and eventually you'll feel those 3 different heads, how they work. And once you start connecting with those, you'll really start to develop your arms.
Alright, time for triceps. Grab a lighter resistance band and attach it to some point. The height doesn't matter because you can vary the angle you pull from. Brace your elbow for stability and it takes your shoulder out of the movement. Now when you're doing this, you want to focus on squeezing the meat of the back of your tricep. In your mind, just picture you're trying to fly like Superman with one arm and really pushing your hand as far out as you can. That'll really squeeze that tricep. I like this movement for triceps because it warms up the back of the elbow and it really gets the blood flowing. Next are skull crushers with the Rotpoax. I did these on a trail bench so I can get the Rotpoax below my head to maximize the stretch on my triceps. Play with the angle of your elbow to find which way works best for you. For a burnout, go immediately from the skull crushers to tricep extensions and go until you can't move the weight anymore. To make it harder, squeeze as hard as you can at the top to really get that blood flowing into the triceps.
This is beautiful. All right, so why should you listen to me? I mean, I've got a YouTube channel, but that gives me no credibility. I mean, who cares? So when I started training in my early teens, I was at home in my bedroom at my parents' house. I had a couple benches and like a cheap squat rack from Walmart, those twist-on plates, mismatched weights. But I made it work, and I had a lot of fun learning how to really connect with different muscle groups. And then after 5 or 6 years of that, I switched to an actual gym, and I was a gym rat for 12 years. But in those 12 years, I was in a training rut, training like a bodybuilder, even though I never planned to step on a stage. I was taught these are the exercises you do, and these are the sets you do, and these are the rep ranges you do, and that's it. Don't fluctuate from that. And I did that for years, and I wasn't getting, the results I wanted. I wanted to be healthy and have functional strength so I could still be active, but I was getting muscle bound. My muscles were aching. I wasn't flexible. I had a hard time bending over, picking up my kids and playing with them. It wasn't a very good place to be. Then COVID hit, and I started training in my garage. And I have been so happy with my training ever since then, because it forced me to get creative, but also to connect with every exercise I did. If I didn't feel it, if I didn't feel the contraction, if I didn't feel it working the muscle group right, I just left it out of my training. I've done a lot of sandbag training, a lot of compound movements that involve a lot of movement and off balance, and it's been amazing for my health as a whole. I don't hurt anymore, no more back pain, sciatica, nothing. But so all that to say, make sure when you do your training that you are connecting with the exercise you're doing. Don't do something just because it works for someone else or they said you have to do it. You need to experiment with your rep ranges and your exercises, and you play with it. If maybe you need to tweak your elbow a little differently, maybe you need to use a little bit of body English, and you don't have to do the whole rep range. Like for example on biceps, because this is an arm video. You don't need to do the whole range of motion with every exercise. When you're curling, think about it. Gravity is pulling down, and when you pull up, after about this point, after that, you need a mechanical advantage to get that weight up, and your bicep is pretty much fully contracted here. So, if you're doing partial rep ranges and just work on that blood flow, then hey, that's fine. That helps you connect with the muscle. Next up, forearms. Now there are a couple ways to work these. This exercise I'm going to do, you're trying to break your wrist. You're trying to flex your wrist down and work on right here, the meat of your forearm. It's going to look like you have a tennis ball stuck in your arm. That's what we're going to work on right there. So when you're doing this, you're curling your arm with your fingertips. That's the key, is you curl with your fingertips and kind of put the tip of your arm. Imagine you're trying to put the tip of your hand, down to your elbow, and that is what's going to work right in here. And my fingers can contract. Work on that forearm. Really squeeze at the bottom. You're curling your fingers, trying to pull your hands down to your elbows, and that'll work your forearms. Get a nice pump. Get some width on those arms. So when you're wearing your overlanding shirt, you can roll up your sleeves with pride. Now the tops of your forearms, that we're going to do basically a curl. You're curling up, trying to curl the top of your hand up towards your shoulder. There are a couple ways to do this. Now, since we're out on the trail, we got to use what we've got, but we're still going to make it work. With that, use the Rotpoax. Close grip on it. I'm going to set this thing up straight. I'm going to bend over, and then kind of pull my elbows a little back and pull the tops of my hands up towards my chin. And that'll work the muscles on the top of your forearms, a little bit of bicep, a lot of grip, trying to grab this Rotpoax. Another angle. Really want a contraction, squeeze at the top. Yeah, it's all in through there. Whew. All So that was my arm workout on the trail. When you're doing this, you know, keep your rest short. You're doing high reps. You don't need to rest a long time, you know, drinking your coffee or taking pictures in between sets. Just get your workout done so you can move on with your trail day. And really, this didn't take many implements. I just took, you know, Rotpoax with some water. I used a Zarges case as a bench. I had some resistance bands, and then I had this Home Depot pipe. It's gas pipe I made for Home Depot, a couple 45 angles and some various ends. You know, you can mess with it, get different lengths. I actually use this in my garage gym at home. I've been using this for about a year now. It's been a fantastic implement. It's lightweight, fits in the back of your Jeep. These resistance bands, I have different sizes of these. You just you know, get a set and play with what works best for you. The Rotpoax, I like it. It's got different handles, your different grips for different exercises. And because there's water, it's variable weight. But you know, just mess with what you've got. You know, if you need to, take a towel and shove some rocks in it, and then, you know, grab it up and you can use that for curls, or just get creative with whatever you have. You've got time on the trail, but have fun with it. And so yeah, that's my arm workout. Thanks for watching. See you on the trail.
Well, I reckon we have to season our steak, sir.